You know, one of the most painful things in a relationship isn't a big, loud fight. It's silence. It's that awful moment when you realize the person who was your whole world has, well, they've suddenly gone distant, cold. So today, we're going to dig into why this happens, and more importantly, what, if anything, you can do about it.
And that's the feeling, right? There are no screaming matches, no big dramatic scene, just a chill in the air, a quiet that feels so much louder, so much heavier than any angry word ever could. It just leaves you feeling completely lost, confused, and wondering what on earth went wrong.
So that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? What happened? Was it something you said last Tuesday, something you forgot to do, or is it something way deeper? Something that's been quietly building up for a long, long time, completely under your radar. Well, in this explainer, we're going to get to the bottom of it.
Okay, let's start by walking through a little story that might feel, well, painfully familiar to some of you. It really gets to the very heart of this kind of painful silence.
So picture this. A guy comes home, it's been a long day at work, he's beat, but he's looking forward to seeing his wife. You know, he expects that familiar warmth, a smile, how was your day? But nope. Instead, she barely even looks up from what she's doing. No greeting, no eye contact, just this uncomfortable quiet filling the room. At first, he just brushes it off. She's just tired, he tells himself. I mean, it's a perfectly logical explanation. But then one day stretches into several. That silence sticks around, the distance gets wider, and he starts to realize her being tired wasn't a one-off thing. That warmth he'd kind of taken for granted, it's not coming back.
And this, right here, is where we get to the real core of the problem. Because that sudden cold shoulder, it almost never, ever comes out of nowhere. It's usually the final flashing red light of something that's been growing right under the surface, fueled by all these little warning signs that were just missed.
So here it is. This is the absolute truth you need to understand. When a partner turns cold, it is almost never because of one big explosive mistake. No, it's more like a death by 1,000 cuts. It's the slow, quiet pileup of small, seemingly tiny moments of being overlooked.
And these small things, they can feel so minor at the time, right? But they add up. Things like forgetting to say thank you or to show you appreciate them. Not really listening when they talk to you. I mean, truly hearing them. Putting your phone or work or your friends before them time and time again. Brushing off their feelings by saying they're just overreacting. And maybe the most dangerous one of all, just assuming they'll always be there, that their love is unconditional, no matter what.
All of this leads to a pretty shocking and counterintuitive truth about relationships. We always think that fighting is the worst-case scenario, the big red flag that things are falling apart. But the real killer, it's something else entirely. They break because of silence, because two people just stop trying. A relationship doesn't die in a blaze of glory. It dies when the effort to connect, to communicate, to even fight for each other just fades away. You see, an absence of conflict isn't peace, it's indifference. And that's way more terrifying. And this is exactly how it happens. The phrase, "I'm busy," slowly starts to become more common, more automatic than "I love you." Priorities just get shifted, little by little, until the very connection that felt so unbreakable is basically starved of the attention it needs to survive. So, if any of this is hitting a little too close to home, is it too late? Is it game over? No, absolutely not. But, and this is a big but, fixing it takes a real, conscious choice to do something. So let's look at the actual steps you can take to start melting that ice and bring back the warmth. Okay, there are 4 really crucial steps here. First, you have to gently break that silence. Ask a question that isn't an attack, something that invites honesty, like, what's in your heart that you haven't felt safe telling me? Second, you have to remind them of your love, not just with words, but with small, daily actions. Third, you must become their safe place again. This is key. When they finally do open up, your job is to listen to understand, not to argue or defend yourself. And finally, you have to rebuild trust by owning your part in this. A real apology has 0 excuses attached. Okay, finally, let's talk about the most powerful way to reframe this whole situation. It's so easy to feel this coldness as a personal attack, as pure rejection. But what if it isn't rejection at all? What if it's actually a signal?
Instead of seeing it as, "they're rejecting me," try seeing it as a signal. It's like the check engine light on the dashboard of your relationship. It's not there to tell you the car is totaled. It's there to scream, "Hey, I desperately need attention over here."
It's a call for care, for focus, and yeah, for immediate action. And that brings us right to our final thought. A relationship that's grown cold is not a lost cause. That warmth can come back, but it's not going to happen by itself. It needs one person to be brave enough to take responsibility and bring the fire, the energy, the effort, the love that's needed to start that thaw. So really, the question isn't whether it can be fixed, the question is who is willing to start.